Hello to my fellow hipsters. So, I'm in the shower. This is Shower Chronicles. Basically, how my shower works is the first 15 to 20 minutes of my shower, I normally just stand here, texting, playing games on my phone, just to get wet, I guess. I don't know. And then I bathe. That's probably why my showers take 45 minutes to an hour. I like the water. I like to get it nice and hot. So basically what this Shower Chronicles is going to be about is, lately I've been having some bad juju. And if you don't know what juju is, it's basically luck. I've been having bad luck. I feel like somebody has my voodoo doll, and they're putting my voodoo doll in weird things, and they're stealing the money out of her pockets, and just a whole bunch of stuff. It's happening. So basically it kind of started 2 months ago. 2 months ago it was basically my fault how it started. So I have this bad habit of not paying my bills. I don't know, I'm young, dumb, I did dumb things. So I had this eviction coming up, but then I got I started going to therapy, started figuring out what was going on. And so now I'm ready to pay my bills. I'm so I knew I had an eviction coming up. And so I'm texting my landlord hey, is the eviction still scheduled on such and such date? He's I don't know, because we text. And because I didn't receive any paperwork. So he told me by text message, hey, there's an eviction coming up for this date. So this was the 10th of, I think, probably April. And the 30th of March, I texted him because I was hey, I wanted to know how much time I had. So he's hey, I don't know. Okay, boom. So the eviction was a Tuesday. Sunday he texted me, that Sunday before. So I'm working. I had started driving for Uber. So I'm working because I'm okay, if the eviction does happen or so, I'll save up my money so I can move. And then, I'll work out a payment plan with this guy, because my lease was up anyway. So I already knew, it was going to be time for me to move, and I had to pay him back his money. So I get a text message from him on a Sunday that my eviction was scheduled for that next Tuesday. No notice on anything. So he's basically sending me all these text messages well, I'm about to go get my paperwork. You'll have to explain this to the sheriff, and they're not gonna believe you over me because I'm gonna have my papers. And I'm dude, I could have got some help. I could have, anything to get you your money. Okay, sorry, gotta answer this. So I'm back. So my landlord was so he was basically, the sheriff's not gonna believe you over me. So I went to the court, filed all of these justifications. But basically, if the landlord says no, even if he's wrong for saying no, you have to leave. Which to me is crazy, because what does the landlord saying no have to do with anything? Or so, and then everybody at the court system was well, basically you have to prove it to the sheriff. And then I went to this other lawyer guy. He was look, I'm gonna file this one movement. He's but I would tell you to get your stuff out of there, because you might have a sheriff that is an asshole and won't take in consideration that you didn't get your papers. They'll just move you out. So I made the conscious decision to move my stuff, because I didn't want to risk it with the sheriff. So we got all that stuff, we moved out, stored my stuff at my parents' house. We stayed in a motel. So things were hard at the motel, but they weren't completely miserable. I had wound up the first week was hard. But by the second and third week, I kind of got it down to a science of how much I needed to make a day. Days I didn't have to work as hard, and it was pretty much cool. And then I had the help from my boyfriend, so it wasn't he was working, so some days he would pay, some days I would pay. We were also renting a car for Uber, so we spent $123 a day, over $800 a week. So it kind of got to we were there for 4 weeks. And we got to the point where we were like, we can't do this, you know, much longer because we're not going to be able to save any money. So I started looking for rooms, and I found this girl on Facebook, and she was like, hey, trying to sublease my place. I was like, okay, you know, cool. Right now I'm staying, you know, I told her my situation, like, right now I'm staying in a motel, so I can't afford to pay, you know, rent. But what I can do is I can pay you weekly, and then the next month I'll pay the full rent. So it took some convincing. She had this lady that was like trying to pay the full thing. She bailed on her like last minute, like June 5th at 5 p.m. no show. So I'm like, so that she had to pay the rent. So I came through, so I was paying her weekly. Everything was cool. So as soon as we get there, everything was fine. We moved in. Boom, precious. We were like, yeah, things are looking up. Then the day after, the lights go off. We were supposed to have 2 weeks before the lights go off so I can put the lights in my name. So because my name wasn't on the lease yet, we had to do all of this other shit. And so she put the lights back in her name. That took 2 weeks because there was a flag on the apartment, so we had to get the flag removed. And it wasn't her flag, it was the apartment complex didn't pay their utilities bill, so they had like this high ass outstanding bill. So you have to call them, get the flag removed, and then it took 2 weeks before we can get our lights on. That shit was horrible. So I wound up putting all of the food, like, so with the money I had put, when we first moved in, we bought food. I lost all my food. We were basically scrounging for food, and because my boyfriend didn't want me to stay here in the dark, you know, with no power, no nothing, what did we do? I was staying at my dad's house, like, after work, and I was staying at my dad's house, and then he would pick me up at, like, 2 o'clock in the morning, and we would go home, sleep, repeat. It was horrible because my dad lived like 50 minutes away from where I live. Freaking horrible. So, we was doing that for 2 weeks. Power finally got cut off. Ah, we're back. Yay. And then, my other car, because I had this old ass car, that car got towed and impounded. Because like the headlight went out, so we were trying to get it, like, mind you, the car, it was like, don't park after 7 o'clock. They towed it at 7:36. That's the time it went into the system. They were not playing with my car. My car is stuck in impound because I had to pay for new tags and a whole bunch of other shit. So boom, there's my car. Okay, and then I started paying her. The first week I paid her, everything was fine. The second week I paid her, everything was fine. The third week, Uber, I drive for Uber. So on Sunday, Uber has this policy that you have to cash out Monday morning by 3:59. And the first time, they kept telling me it was 12. So the first time I'm like, where's my money? Oh, yeah, they took all of my rent money. That was gone. So I had to remake the money, was late. I think I paid her like Tuesday. Because I had to remake all of the money by driving. And then I got my money like on a Thursday or Wednesday. So next week, I'm like, okay, so 11:59, to do it again. Uber takes my money. They take $90 of my money. The Monday before, because I asked her for an extension to pay on Monday. Uber takes $90, and I was paying her at 6 o'clock, right before I paid her. Matter of fact, this week, hold up, so that week, Memorial Day was on a Sunday. I asked for an extension because Memorial Day was on a Sunday. And Sunday I went out driving, and I live in Baltimore, Maryland, and I was driving out LA City. It rained really bad. I got stuck out LA City.
This is how bad it is. I've been out here for an hour.
But I got stuck in the rain.
Underwater.
It was flooded. It was like about 4 to 5.
That car is stuck underwater.
3 to 4 feet
These
of
cars
rain.
are in the middle
so
of the
nobody
street,
could move.
and they're about to bring.
Use my old school mapping ways to get out. I was stuck there for an hour and a half. Couldn't drive. It was too much rain. Lost that day, so I asked for an extension on Monday. So that's how I found out my money had got stolen. Well, not stolen, just Uber did a direct deposit that they weren't supposed to do. Okay, so I'm about to pay her. I go out, I think this is Tuesday now. I go out, I make all the money that I'm missing. I'm like $17 away, so I'm texting her like, hey, I'm about to pay you. U-Haul takes $80 of my money. I cry, bitter, tears. I'm on the side of the road. I am crying for an hour trying to figure out what the fuck happened. So apparently the month I moved in, like the week I moved in, we used a U-Haul. And the guy, like, didn't put my car through like he told me he did. Instead, he did a promissory note. Didn't know that. So now, on top of the promissory note, my whatever I owed was also late. So they put a $35 late fee on top of that. So it took, they would not give me the money back, which I kind of knew they wasn't, but it was like really unfortunate that it took them 30 days to, you know, do everything. So what happened? They gave me $30 like 3 days later, so I had to go make everything all over again. So now this is the week I am supposed to be making my rent for the month of June, right? We are now on like Wednesday that I'm finally just paying my rent for, you know, finished paying my rent for May. So I'm like so far behind. I have like a weekend to make this money. I had to go through hell and high waters, and somebody stole $400 from me right before I was about to pay, so my rent was late, and I'm subleasing, so that's horrible. So I had to do a bunch of driving. Finally got my rent paid. So I was like, oh my God, yes, Jesus, you know, yes, whoever's up there, like, okay, my groceries on their way. So I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna get everything. I'm so happy. Like, and then Saturday, so I paid my rent, you know, everything's cool. I'm like, okay, I just have to pay off my car. And now I'm like, okay, so to prevent that from happening, let me make my rent money, you know, early. You know, I got a whole month to make it. You know, I'm like, if I can make $100 for 12 days, you know, that's it right there. So life was like, you're not paying no bills early. So Saturday, I was on my way to therapy, and my car's engine stopped. Like, it drastically stopped while I was on the highway. Had to get off, got stuck on the exit ramp, had to push the car up a hill, like me and my boyfriend pushing the car up the hill, had somebody come, you know, bump the car. So I've been without a car and stuck in my house since then. And now, like, well, I pay insurance, you know. Hi, of course, you know, you pay insurance. So what happened was, basically, I had a pothole, the radiator cracked, and the car started leaking antifreeze, so, like, the engine got hot, and a whole bunch of other shit. So, the engine's blown. So I pay, you know, insurance for that. Me and the person who actually owns the car, we haven't heard from the insurance company yet. And this is Tuesday. It happened on Saturday. The guy lives in Virginia. He had to drive up here from Virginia to pick up the car and have it towed. So right now I'm sitting and waiting for the company, the third party company that I rent to, you know, do something. They have not done anything yet. I've been stuck. I live in a county. I live in like Middle River. So if anybody's familiar with Baltimore, it's like one of those deep counties, and I live far as fuck. I live like 30 to 40 minutes away from everything, even the city. So there's no like, hey, you just walk to the store. Hey, I'm just gonna walk to the bus stop. The bus stop is 18 minutes away. Walking. I would have to catch 3 buses after that just to get downtown. So I've been in my house, so that's why I'm ordering groceries online. And yeah, this has been my life. So bad juju, definitely gonna get a cleanse. If anybody has had anything similar to this, please tell me about it in the comments below. Like, subscribe, hit those buttons. I don't remember all the other buttons for some reason. I'm about to take a real shower now, so see you guys later. Bye.